I think it kind of gives a false sense of security. So let's start from the beginning. What's Iman talking about? He's saying that when you when you have somebody log in, you set a session token. The safest place to put it is in your cookie, right? I think we talked about this in the last episode. It wasn't always thought to be the safest. That it wasn't a great place to put your cookie, but nowadays it is. The cookies have been reinforced. And one of the ways that they did that was they added this flag that you can set called HTTP only. And what that essentially means is only the server can read and write to the cookie, that particular cookie. It means that the browser doesn't expose the cookie in JavaScript. So if I'm an attacker and I'm able to find some cross-site scripting and I inject some JavaScript, I can't read your cookie and I can't steal your session token. Okay, that's great. I think that's really great because it means that as an attacker, I can't steal your session token and then just click around and see what I can do. But if I already know what I want to do with your session, I can just pre-program that into my JavaScript. I don't need your cookie for that. So setting HTTP only has a bit of a false sense of security. Yes, it makes it a little bit more complicated for the attacker, but it doesn't actually take away their ability to do any of the things that they could have done with the session token. I'm still seeing it in a couple clients that I'm working on right now. You would think that it would be a dead security vector, but it has definitely dropped down in popularity, which is nice, and that I think is in part due to the OWASP top 10's popularity. People learn about it and they go, "Oof, that's the number one most popular, injection style. Let's protect against that." Really, there's no substitute to either using an ORM or parameterizing and preparing your SQL statements. If you really can't use those, maybe you're memory constrained, or maybe I don't know what other reasons might there be. If it's sometimes some frameworks don't let you do prepared or parameterized variables as a table name. I wouldn't accept those as input anyways, but I know that there are unique edge cases. In those cases, you got to be using regular expressions to create an allow list of characters that can go in there. And that means you're blocking anything that's not a letter, uppercase, lowercase, and maybe a number, maybe a hyphen. There's no need to have semicolons, percent signs, hyphens. I don't know. Hyphens are iffy because a double hyphen can be a comment depending on which SQL server or which SQL technology you're using. And especially because, we're mostly talking about big companies that would be victims of espionage or nation state attacks. If you're running a yogurt website, a blog about different flavors of yogurt, you probably don't need to worry about those types of attacks as much. But nation state attackers, APTs, advanced persistent threats, we call them, will use those types of resources. I mean, it sounds like way too much effort, but it's not. This is what they do. They spend 40 hours a week, hundreds of man hours, and lots of zero-day exploits archived for later use. And they will use those to get that kind of information, and they will go through those really roundabout routes to get there. There's some interesting stories I remember hearing on Darknet Diaries a few episodes ago about just some of the lengths. They were talking to somebody who worked in, I think, the Navy, and they were just talking about the types of precision and the types of organization that they had in order to break into enemy sites, whatever. It's a lot of sophistication. I will look for I will literally look for instances of deserialization functions being called. SaaS tools are usually pretty good at this, such to the point where usually I'll usually go and double check using my own. I've got a stored list of regular expressions that I've been building up over the years to help me search for things faster. And at this point, I'm pretty much just doubling the effort of good SaaS scanners. They tend to find all that stuff pretty well. So luckily, it's something that it's very easy to find with a pattern because deserialization doesn't happen on its own. No one's rolling their own deserialization. I mean, if they are, they deserve it. Because there's so many easier ways to do it, and every language has their own either built-in function or popular library. If you're very interested, I highly recommend going to the OWASP website and downloading the OWASP Application Security Verification Standard 4.0, or for short, ASVS. That's what we're looking at. And you can get a sense for all the different things that pen testers would look for in this category. It won't tell you how to find them. That's left up to you as an exercise, but lots of literature out there. We don't just we're not all reinventing the wheel out here.